What is going on YouTube? Welcome to the channel. My name is Fareed, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about a recent article that was just released by the Axo Trade team regarding their staked tokens and their airdrop. Now, if it's your guys' first time hearing about the Axo team or the Axo Trade platform, they aim to be a frictionless exchange building on Cardano. Now, as it states here on their website, they aim to be the next evolutionary step of TradFi and DeFi. Axo expands the possibilities of finance with universal access to markets and powerful financial tools in an all-in-one platform. Having said that, the Axo team, which was previously named Maladex, did have an ISPO that took place between the first 2 quarters of the year of 2022. Having said that, the ISPO has concluded, and as we can see here, their recent article basically gives the community an update as to when we can expect the airdrop, as well as a few surprises when it comes to the ADA rewards that were generated as a part of their ISPO. So I'm going to give you guys a brief overview very quickly here, and then we're just going to dive into this article and just kind of break this down a little bit further. So first things first, as a part of this announcement, we can see that ADA rewards have been returned to all of the wallets in addition to the min fee, or the min pool fee, I should say, that was generated as a part of the entire ISPO. So if you guys delegated to the Maladex, right, or the Axo Trade ISPO, then double check the wallet that you guys actually used during the delegation process, and you should now have some additional ADA returned back into your wallet. If you don't see that ADA there, then definitely reach out to the Axo Trade team within their Discord, which I'll leave a link to down in the description below. The next thing I want to mention, again, just kind of highlighting everything before we dive into the article itself, is that KYC will be required in order to actually claim your Axo tokens once the date comes. And so there has been a mixed review or a mixed bit of emotion regarding this particular statement, being that we are in a decentralized ecosystem and people do not necessarily want to undergo KYC in order to claim their rewards. But because the Axo team is adamant about making sure that they are following guidelines and rules to avoid any scrutiny by the SEC, they are going to make sure that they have the appropriate information and the appropriate guardrails before actually distributing any of the Axo token rewards. The very last mention that I want to make again, which is a key point here, is that 20% of the tokens will be available on the Axo Trade's launch, with an 80% or with the remaining 80%, being vested over a 1 year or a 12-month period. Having said that, let's just break down this article here. And as it states, welcome in the new year. Axo is bringing you a surprise. Your original staked ADA rewards from when Axo was previously referred to as Maladex are now available. So it says here, don't worry, if you're eligible for the Axo token airdrop, those will still be made available to you, which again, I'll be discussing here very shortly. Scrolling down further into the article, and as you guys can see here, I've got some specific sections highlighted because of just time nature. I don't necessarily want to break down this entire article because it is quite lengthy, but I will leave the link to it again if you guys want to read it on your own in its entirety down in the description below. The Axo community support of the Maladex stake pools generated ADA rewards, which have not been touched since they were received. So it does not look like anything that was actually generated from the ISPO was touched by the team. And again, this is essentially what they're going to be returning back to the stakers or the delegators' wallets. Having said that, the decision not to use these funds was taken given regulators' unclear guidance regarding the treatment of income generated from stake pools and Axo's commitment to approaching regulatory compliance proactively. So it does look like they're doing this in order to make sure that there's no additional scrutiny by the SEC as it pertains to the Axo Trade platform, which I personally think is a good thing, right? So while some members within the community might be wondering why, I think that this paragraph essentially breaks down that very, very clearly. In addition, Axo wants to grow and work with both retail and institutional clients alike, so it's essentially to be legally compliant. Axo thus aims to be proactive in identifying any potential problems. So again, it does look like if they were to use the funds generated by the ISPO, that could essentially gather some scrutiny from the SEC, which they're essentially trying to avoid. To that end, Axo has decided to return ADA assigned to every wallet originally dedicated to the Maladex pools. This return also includes the min pool fee, which takes about 340 ADA from the first block that is minted in a stake pool per epoch. So not only are you guys going to be receiving your original ADA rewards that you would have essentially earned as a part of the ISPO, but on top of that, they're also returning the min pool fee. So that actually means that you might be earning back a little bit more than you would have if you were just staking to a regular stake pool. So again, this is a really nice and grand gesture here by the Maladex team, and I definitely commend them for doing so. Now, all of the rewards from the initial distribution should be in your original wallets now. And as I mentioned before, if you guys are having any issues, you can reach out to the Axo team directly on Discord, where I can actually vouch that they are relatively active on a daily basis. Now, moving over, now that we've kind of talked about the ADA rewards being returned back to your wallets, I want to chat a little bit about how you guys can actually claim your Axo tokens once the platform is ready to launch. So the Axo tokens will be claimable through the Axo Vault, which they've also left a link to here. Now, once you're there, you can actually connect your wallet and see your eligible tokens. Again, this is essentially a dashboard to allow you to see exactly how much of the Axo token or the Maladex token that you've actually earned throughout the ISPO period. Now, in the coming weeks, you will be able to register to claim your Axo tokens. However, they have not provided us a specific date, but you must complete an identity verification process. So this is where a lot of the community is having their eyebrows raised, right? And I want to say that it's for a good reason, but again, I also understand where the Axo trade platform is coming from as well. They don't want to be under any scrutiny once the actual app is ready to launch. So the verification process will include proving your identity via official documentation, a phone number, an email, and proof of liveness, right? So this is essentially where users have to prove their identity in front of a webcam to show that they're not using stolen documentation or that they are who they claim to actually be, Now, institutions, right, that do not comply with such regulations in TradFi are subject to sanctions, loss of licensure. Now, if Axo were negligent in this particular area, it would potentially hinder financial entities from considering using their protocol. So again, I think they do a really good job of explaining why they're having the KYC process being a requirement in order to actually claim your Axo tokens. It's to make sure that the future of this platform is secure. So hopefully you guys in the community can understand that. But it is not normal practice, at least for what I've seen so far within the space, that you guys have to undergo KYC in order to actually claim your tokens. So it does look like these guys are trying to set the standard as it pertains to how traditional companies or DeFi companies should be operating within the crypto space. Now we are coming to a close here, so I just want to kind of pick up here again. Once you've actually completed the verification process, you can claim your Axo tokens within the Axo Vault, which was also mentioned above earlier. Now, when it comes to when Axo will actually be launching their platform, right? It states here, KYC processing will not be a requirement to actually use the Axo trade platform. So if you guys want to still use Axo, it will not necessarily be a requirement that you have to undergo KYC. But if you do decide to do so, you will have access to bigger liquidity pools, and it does look at some additional features when using their platform. So by extension, users willing to be transparent about their identity will have access to more efficient markets and deeper liquidity. Now, Axo will not share any information, right, that it may have with counterparties, except when compelled to do so by authorities with a court order. So it does look like for the most part, your information should be secure unless there's any kind of court ordered presented to the Axo trade platform, in which they will be complying and providing that information over to regulators. So again, I think this is one of the main reasons why people are not necessarily too happy within the community, but it does look like the Axo trade platform is sticking with their mantra, which is to be as legally compliant as possible in order to attract more and bigger users to the Cardano ecosystem, as well as their Axo trade platform. In closing, a few important things that I want to mention. Before the launch, you must claim your Axo tokens in the Axo Vault, or you will lose the airdrop allocation. So once that official announcement does come out, I'll make sure to keep you guys posted with an additional video. But if you guys do not claim your tokens, right, within that allotted time, you will lose them. Upon claiming the tokens, they will be placed in a vesting smart contract on Cardano, where we can expect about 20% of the Axo tokens to be made available immediately upon the platform's launch, with the remaining 80% of the Axo tokens being locked up in a smart contract vesting over the course of 1 year. And so in closing, for example, if a user is eligible for 100 Axo tokens as a part of the ISPO rewards, 20 of those will be available immediately at the platform's launch, with the remaining 80% becoming available as the year progresses. And I believe that is going to essentially wrap us up here as a part of this particular update. Again, I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to the full article down in the description below if you guys want to read this on your own. But to kind of summarize everything again, the ADA rewards will be returned to your wallets, including the min pool fee. If you have any questions or comments, head over to the Discord in order for the team to be able to assist you. Second, KYC will be required when claiming the Axo tokens prior to the launch. And then third, we can expect 20% of the ISPO rewards to be given to users amongst the launch of the actual platform, with the remaining 80% being vested over the course of 1 year. Having said that, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys found this information about the Axo Trade platform to be helpful, then please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments about Axo, then make sure to leave those down in the comment section below. That said, I will see you guys in the next video.